What's up, people? It's your man Urban Lover reporting live and direct once again from the Herb basement. Well, you know, Mama's basement. I keep saying the Herbmobile. Why do I keep getting it mixed up between the Herbmobile and your mama's basement? I should know the difference by now. One has a bed and one has two chairs. Let me stop. Let me be a little nice. Anyway, we're going to talk about the Lakers playing the Clippers. Not going to really go too deep in it, only because you know, there's two teams. You know, one's hitting to the playoffs and one is basically going to the other direction. But it does show the opportunity of seeing two LA teams go at it, especially on both of their same main floor. So you get a mixed perception from the fan base. But anyway, keep this in mind, you know, before we go crazy and all that. You got to remember who the Clippers had. Remember, the Clippers did give away a lot of their good players. They still got Gallinari, and they had Lou Williams coming off the bench. Other than that, their starting five wasn't really a strong starting five. The guy, Gilgenis, I can't pronounce his name. I don't want to butcher it, but he's been playing pretty good at the point. So I will give him the respect of that. The guy Temple been pretty good. Now, I mean, they average pretty good players. They're not star caliber players, but they're average players. Lou Williams, you know, we know what he can do coming off the bench, but he didn't have a good shoot night. 3-point wise, yeah, but field goal wise, not at all. Gallinari did his thing. Really he didn't have a strong shoot night as well. Anytime you go 8 for 18, that means you missed a lot of shots, but you still wound up scoring 27 points, which was still good. I mean, because actually in the first half they were beating the Lakers, but then the second half the Lakers turned it up with the addition of, you know, yours truly, Caruso, who I've been saying since last season needs to be on the roster. And I know, like I said, I'm not going to go overboard with it because he scored 32 points. And keep this in mind, like I said, you know, you're playing against a team who really shouldn't even be in the playoff. Because reality, it should be the Lakers in the playoff. Let's be honest. If they weren't injured and stuff like that, they wouldn't be there. But they are they're up a little bit. So who falls out? San Antonio or OKC? So we're not going to disrespect Doc Rivers' coaching ability. Because as you can see right now, Doc Rivers in the West is a good coach when people were writing him off back in Boston. Because now he transitioned to the West where there are much more tougher teams for him to play. So now you're seeing a better Doc Rivers. Well, not really a better, but you're getting to see what Doc Rivers really can do. Because you got a man who takes the team that really don't have no superstar caliber players and still make the playoff. He got all-star players, but not caliber players. But let's understand this. We could say that, you know what, they were missing certain players on their team. And y'all know who some of the people I want to say. One of the main people, Patrick Beverly. That's the main person they was missing. Their best defensive perimeter player on their team. And you know, if he was there, Caruso probably wouldn't score 32 points because this guy would have hounded him. But I will not knock the point that the Lakers still came out and played good based on the fact that if I was to say that about Patrick Beverly, I got to say about the Lakers as well because we're missing quality players as well. Now, with that being said, I got to give my hats off to Caruso because he had a good game. 10 for 19, 6 for 7, 5 for 7 behind the three-point arc, hitting free throws, had 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 turnovers, not bad, 2 steals. You got to give him the respect that is due. The guy's putting the ball on the floor. He's a above average defender who's playing pretty good, can read defense pretty good, and is doing pretty good as a nice little backup. Caldwell Pope, I know y'all don't like him. I know a lot of y'all saying we can't wait till the season over so this guy can get up out of here because he always do it at the end of the season. But I told you guys, the reason why Caldwell Pope is playing so good is because he's getting the minutes and he doesn't have to look over his back and seeing who's going to come in and take his position. Remember, every time, last year and this year, we had a max amount of guards to rotate in. And Lou Walton, being the man that he was or is, he's trying to make sure that he can get everybody the opportunity to get a playing time. Remember, he stick with those 2 units. So Caldwell Pope, this season, minutes diminished real big because we had more guards. And also, when you threw Brandon Ingram in the backcourt, it really kind of messed up the whole the rotation. So that's why you're starting to see Caldwell Pope light it up because you're not playing for nothing. You know, a lot of guys are injured, so I got more time. It's the same thing if you look at last year. Towards this time, there were a lot of guards, a lot of players that were injured, so Caldwell Pope was able to get more minutes in. And by him not looking over his back, he could play a little loosely. Just too bad it always happened towards the end of the season. Rondo had a good game. Starting to shoot the ball really well behind the three-point arc. Teams are giving him that shot. He's taking it, and he's knocking it down. I told you, he's getting old, so he's going to have to learn how to make threes. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. Excuse me. I'm choking. But he has to learn how to make threes, which he's starting to do, because at the end of the day, teams are going to leave open. So he got to make them respect his game. Dropped 12 assists. He did have 6 turnovers though, but 15 points. Like I say, he still played pretty good, you know, and still kept the team in the midst of it. along with Caruso, who basically took over the fourth quarter, and then JaVale McGee, who's been pretty much dominating ever since the last 10 games, I want to say. But he's been putting up, I know in the last 7 games, if I'm not mistaken, he's been putting up double rebounds and also giving us over 16, 17 points. So in his span, he's been averaging like almost 18 points, 11 boards, and with 2 blocks to go on top of it. So he's been playing pretty good in these spare amount of minutes. Remember, he only played 26 minutes, and he dominated. The biggest problem, like I said before, with JaVale McGee is that you got to have a guard that can get him easy position to score. He's the person that loves to play around the rim, real high about that. He's not somebody that you can get the ball to at the top of the key. He's more solid around the rim, period. So you got to draw double teams, or run pick and roll schemes in order for him to get better opportunities at the basket. One thing I like about JaVale McGee that a lot of people talk about is that he does, I think he averaged like anywhere from 2 to 3 dunks a game. He's a good finisher around the rim. A lot of your European centers don't really finish around the rim. A lot of fans say, okay, well, let's go get this guy because this guy can shoot threes and all that. It spaces the floor. That's understandable. But when you're playing LeBron James type system, LeBron James need that guy that can rebound, block shots, and play, good interior defense to make up for the mishaps that they have when they miss shots, because a lot of players love to shoot the three, including LeBron. So that's why I like JaVale McGee. I'm hoping that they bring JaVale McGee back. I know a lot of people might disagree with me, but I love JaVale. I loved him when we got him from the beginning of the season. I know he has a pneumonia problem, but like I said, you can manage that with good rotation minutes. 30 minutes should be the max for him, and you can rotate it pretty good if you get another solid backup. Wagner didn't really have a good game. Not going to roll too much deep into it. Bonga, a lot of guys came in, but like I said, this is basically like one of them games that the Lakers, they won, and I got to respect the point of it. Caruso, like I said, did pretty good, man. You got to give him credit. Give him credit where credit's due. And the guy, matter of fact, he had a play, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to think, was it him? No, I think it was JaVale McGee, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it was JaVale McGee. JaVale, this is to you, friend. Why do you have to dunk on Zubac? You should have did that, man. Zubac is a calm, gentle giant. Why you go dunk on him, man? Why you give him that face print like that, man? Why you do that to that guy, man? He just trying to be friends. Don't take his texts and comments out of quotation. He was only joking around. He didn't say that it's toxic in LA for the Lakers. He just said he came to a better team. So you have to show him. It's all good, though. But anyway, the Lakers played pretty good. Alex Caruso had a career high. Pretty good game, man. They got to resign Alex Caruso. They got to at least resign JaVale McGee if they don't get a quality center. But I definitely would say Caruso should be the one out of all these bench players to be able opportunity to get a long-term contract. Because if not, somebody's going to pick him up. Now I want to go to something that's much more appropriate, based on the fact that, like I said, it is what it is with the Lakers right now. We only got a couple games left, and the season is basically over. But I want y'all to hear this clip by Stephen A. Smith talking about the Lakers. And this clip is on what this is? This is ESPN, and Stephen A. Smith. I'm gonna try to go back and make sure I get the right part of it. Hold on real quick. It's a 4-minute video, and I'm gonna let y'all hear it, and then I'm gonna chime in towards the end so I can give my synopsis of what I think.
Conference scout in the Athletic. This posted Thursday.
All right, I'm gonna let it play. Here you go.
Western Conference scout in the Athletic. This posted Thursday is quoted in a story about which non-playoff team is the best position for eventual success on the Lakers. He said this: "Too many question marks in my opinion. I like their young pieces. They should have kept rebuilding. Magic has destroyed that place." He destroyed it. They're rid of D'Angelo Russell and Julius Randle for what? Rajon Rondo, and to get off Timothy Mozgov's contract. The worst thing in the league is to be a team that has an aged superstar that doesn't know it. Plus, who's going to coach that team? Doc is out. Ty Lue almost had a heart attack coaching LeBron the first time. Jason Kidd held back the Milwaukee Bucks, and Mark Jackson stood between the Warriors and their dynasty.
My response to that would be this. That is definitely a quote that came from an executive. Nobody's made that up, because several executives have been saying those exact same things about Magic Johnson and the Lakers. But I'm just saying, as a scout, GMs are talking. A lot of people are talking like that. That's number one. Number two, I'm not going to say ruin it, I think you look at those are valid criticisms. Nobody can defend Magic or Pelinka on those particular moves. They miscalculated by going the route of playmaker as opposed to surrounding LeBron James with shooters. Okay? The biggest thing is you get rid of D'Angelo Russell, you draft Lonzo Ball instead of Jason Tatum or De'Aaron Fox.
I gotta chime in. I was gonna wait till at the end of the video, but sometime I just want to talk, because when you hear these media, like I said before, when you hear these media guys talk, you gotta remember they always switching it up. 1 minute you ride with Lonzo, next minute because the Lakers are failed, they didn't make the playoff. Now you want to come out and say, oh, we know it was a bad move, you should have got Jason Tatum or De'Aaron Fox. Here's my thing about that is this: when the Lakers were winning, the media didn't have no problems with it. But because LeBron James led Lakers are not in the playoffs, now the media is going to find ways to basically point fingers at the front office, Luke Walton, whoever they want to point fingers at. Because here's the thing. I said it before. The main thing that ESPN, First Take, all these guys talk about is the Lakers and LeBron James. Even when the Lakers were not relevant last year, they still talk about Lonzo Ball. They talk about LaVar Ball. They had something to talk about. Before Lonzo Ball got there, they didn't have nothing to talk about these Lakers. Only but Kobe. Once Kobe retired, that was it. The year in between that, they had nothing to talk about. And on top of that, you think about it, when they sit there and they say, well, you know, when they start to say things, matter of fact, let me stop and I want y'all to hear more what Stephen A. Smith got to say, because I don't want to draw it out, because like the last video, it took like 30 minutes. I don't want to be 30 minutes.
That was a hiccup. Trading Zubac, this kid Zubac, to the Clippers.
And y'all told me that I was bad. And this guy's an educated brother. I guess he went to college most likely, right? And he said Zubac. He couldn't get his name out. See? But y'all say I'm bad at pronouncing names. But anyway, but he already said the same thing. I already said it before. So I'm going to let it play out, because I want to get to the bread and the butter of the situation, so I can wrap this video up.
7-footer, 21 years of age, averaging like 17 and 8 in a few games that he played for the Lakers, and you get rid of him for Mike Muscala? I mean, just to get rid of Beasley? That made no sense whatsoever. But having said all of that, it's not like there's some cap-strapped franchise that's in no position to correct their errors. So I don't want to say ruined, because Kuzma's still there and Ingram is still there. And as Max has pointed out, Ball is not a scrub. He needs to be a better shooter. He needs to be more aggressive and assertive. But I think clearly we've seen that Lonzo Ball has been a bit distracted. He's had an awful lot to deal with, and I don't think we can ignore that from somebody that young, which is why you got guys like Charles Barkley showing up on television cussing out his father, because that's how many people are disgusted by what they feel LaVar Ball has done to his children.
I'm going to stop right there. See, this is my problem what I had with so-called black men, and some of y'all might disagree with me, right? But when a man, the only thing that most people can say is that LaVar Ball has a big mouth. And that's my biggest problem. It's like that you show me a man who has all his kids on the right track. Not in jail, not selling drugs, not here doing stupid stuff. Got a family business. Yeah, they made some errors, but who doesn't make errors within their family business? You show me a business who not have somebody stealing from them. Come on, I know some of y'all worked that job where y'all probably had somebody, one of your co-workers, steal some candy from Walmart. Let's be honest. Can't be hypocrites about it. But when you have a brother who gets up there and basically always use the father as the reason why these things are happening to the children, that's a bad example of what you're trying to bring forth. First and foremost, this man has done a lot for his family. No one knew about Lonzo Ball. He the one built Lonzo Ball, the Ball family up. He the one that got them young brothers out when they were kids to play basketball, to teach them, to mold it. It's the same thing with the Williams sisters. Their father helped them. Tiger Woods, his father helped them. The only biggest difference is that y'all as fans and the media that don't like LaVar is that they put a mic in his face. But here's the thing: they will criticize LaVar, but yet they love to have LaVar on their shows because of the simple fact that based on the fact that they would love to have LaVar Ball on their show, based on the fact, regardless you love him or you hate him, he brings ratings to their shows. So they're gonna always bring LaVar up, and this is the thing. LaVar Ball is just the mouthpiece for Lonzo. What I mean by that is this: if you watch wrestling, you have, some guys are just not well spoken or choose not to speak, so they will have like their manager do all the speaking for them, but yet the guy's the one that do the action. This is what I'm talking about, where people are missing the whole point about Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball, I stated before and I say it again, has grown up right before our eyes. Those last 3 games, I got to keep bringing this out. Those last 3 games when Lonzo Ball was actually running the point, you've seen him transition into a man right before your face. And this is before all the speculation about the guy stealing from him and all this other stuff. There was no LaVar Ball there. LaVar Ball even allows them to be their own man. When they asked LaVar Ball about, if Lonzo Ball was signed with Nike, and this is a video they had out that they asked LaVar Ball, is Lonzo Ball going to sign with Nike? He said, hey, you got to ask him. He makes his own decision, basically. So, but when we sit there and make this decision or make these blanket statements that, LaVar Ball's holding him back, you got to give credit where credit's due. This is the problem I have with people, that you never pay attention or you never give credit for the little things that this man did for his family, but you will find things to tear him down, and that's what the media do. The media does not want to see a strong black man or any man of purpose because of what the genders they got going on, but they want it's mostly a strong black man. And I have to say it, and not racist. Y'all, if you follow me on Facebook, I'm not racist. But anyway, they got to break down or try to destroy the strong black man. It's well known, documented. There's no ifs, ands, and buts around it, and that's what I hate. What this media always try to do. Listen, at the end of the day, you cannot sit there and make it seem like LaVar Ball has basically grabbed these dudes' neck and put it in, basically choked them out and say, this is what you got to do. He's not Michael Jackson father, okay? There's a big difference. I remember somebody try to compare him to Michael Jackson father. I said, don't do that. If you know the history of the Jacksons, you wouldn't even mistake that, because LaVar Ball does not do that. Their family is well structured and they well loved among themselves. It's just that they allow us to come in their family to see how they're living. But yet, instead of us picking up understanding about being your own businessman, your own entrepreneur, learning how to, adapt in the business world and be your own leader, taking the chains off and being free, we rather be strapped down to a corporate world. A lot of people say, oh, well, you need to sign with Nike. Well, he signed with Nike. That means that he's under a bondage again. He's under a contract. He cannot do certain things. He cannot wear what he want to wear. He got to take off certain things that are against the contract that he signed up for. Just because you get a lot of money does not mean you're free. Free is to own your own business so you can move how you want to move. And this is why most individuals hate LaVar Ball, because he's free to do what he want and say what he want. He doesn't have no chains around him, so he can basically be capped in and basically be to a point where he don't have to, he can speak what he want, how he want. Like I said, the only biggest problem is that they put the mic in front of him. So at the end of the day, before we blame LaVar, you got to blame the media as well, because the media is the one that constantly put the mic in there and keep making LaVar relevant. Let's be honest. So before you sit there and tear that man down, look at what your stance and your base is built off of. I'm going to let it continue.
Having said all of that, again, this is the beginning. They messed up. There's no denying it. And I'm worried about him. But it doesn't mean he can't be corrected. And that's the difference. They're in the position to correct it.
Let me just get this straight. Magic Johnson destroyed that place?
Yeah.
He destroyed that place? The Lakers were mired among the bottom feeders of the NBA when Magic took over.
I'm going to have to stop again. Man, this is Max. I'm sorry, brother. It shows that y'all don't really watch games, man. Y'all don't watch games. The last 3 years under Luke Walton, who's not a good coach. Keep that in mind. Not a good coach. Not a good young players development coach. Wound up turning that team around. Every year they got better. The previous year, 35 wins. This year they probably won about 45, 50, well, 48 games. I'm being honest with you. With Brook Lopez, Julius Randle, they probably won 40-something games. Just say if we didn't get LeBron James. And they still had Luke Walton. Yes, sorry, Luke Walton, the bad coach. I believe the Lakers would at least won 40-something games. And they probably would have made the playoff this year. Just to be honest with you, without without LeBron James. And I'm not knocking LeBron James, because I had much respect for LeBron James. And like I said, even with the injuries and all that, the Lakers still would have made a playoff with LeBron James as well. So we cannot sit there and say the Lakers was at the bottom, because Phoenix was at the bottom. So before you say it was at the bottom, I cannot go with that. It was just based on the fact we had a bunch of young players who just were not developed yet. But over the course of time, you started seeing some of our stronger young players develop, but we traded them assets away in order to open up space so hopefully we can get a free agent this offseason. The only problem is that everybody's coming out against the Lakers because why? Revenue, ratings, money. I told you guys, because the Lakers are not in the playoff, this media and everybody else is going to try to control the narrative and point the fingers and say, you know what? This is the reason why the Lakers ain't make the playoff. And then media or fan base, I will say, who don't watch so many, don't watch the games, are going to agree with individuals like Max and Steve and say, you know what, these guys are right. Not knowing that these guys do not watch games. They probably, like I said, they probably watch no more than 3 to 5 games this whole season. Most of their stuff is already script. Somebody went out and did the research for them, laid it in front of their face, and then they read it off and they talk to you. And all this stuff is based off emotion and opinions, not really facts.
As head of basketball operations. And the first thing he did was sign LeBron James, and he destroyed that place. He traded the...
Hey, man, I already said it, and I'll say it again. LeBron James was coming anyway because of his, off-the-court situation. Let's be honest, but let's go.
D'Angelo Russell, which may have been a mistake because he had to get out of the Mozgov contract, which was not his. But it was a terrible contract. He got out of it. He got a draft pick back. They still have Ingram. They still have Kuzma. Whether or not drafting Lonzo Ball is a mistake, I'm here to tell you, look at D'Angelo Russell. He's an all-star. I think Lonzo's more talented than D'Angelo Russell. I think Lonzo can be an all-star in the future. Maybe not.
I know a lot of you D'Angelo Russells might disagree, but Max is correct. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you, with a new coach or a disciplined Luke Walton, if we decide to keep him, because it all depends on Jeannie Buss, let's be honest. If they and LeBron James too, because LeBron James got to humble himself as well. If the Lakers allow Lonzo Ball to run the floor, I'm telling you guys, y'all would overthink D'Angelo Russell. Now, personally, I would have loved to see that backcourt of D'Angelo and Lonzo, because then Lonzo would have somebody that really can shoot, and D'Angelo can play off the ball. I've been saying that before we traded him, because we could have basically stretched the Dane contract and basically traded Tim Moscow. Either trade or hold on to him. You know what I mean? Like, we could have held on to him. But it is what it is, man. I mean, D'Angelo Russell is gone now. And I'm telling you guys, it's all about patience. D'Angelo Russell, Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance, Lou Williams. Well, Lou Williams was already established. But I'm talking the young guys. Julius Randle, Larry Nance, D'Angelo Russell, Jordan Clarkson. All these guys that we let go. As you see them right now, they're all flourishing at their respective teams. It's all about patience. A lot of fans don't have that. We just want to see win now. But then once LeBron James retired, we right back to the same square one. And that all depends on who we get, if we get somebody this offseason.
Not next year, but in the not too distant future. He is super young to be playing. He's a very precocious player. He destroyed that place. Look, did he behave suboptimally? Yes. Signing Rondo, and you just went over it, and Michael Beasley and some weird stuff. Yeah, Lance Stevenson, yes, he and Pelinka failed in that respect. But he came into a franchise that had reached irrelevance somehow, in spite of the fact that they were the Lakers. Cleared cap space, got LeBron James, and held on to most of his young talent, and acquired draft picks. And by the way, they might be in the lottery this year. No, you can't say Magic destroyed that place. The place was destroyed. He landed LeBron James. That's not destroying a place.
All right, we're done with this video. I'm going to add up my little thing because, like I said, I didn't want to go that long, man. But just a quick breakdown. First of all, yeah, Magic Johnson. Listen, Magic Johnson made a lot of bad moves this season. You could say a lot of bad moves. Now, like end of the day, he didn't really destroy the place. The only thing I said, like the trade, what he gave up Lou Williams, but he had to move Lou Williams in order to save up money. A lot of things that Magic Johnson did was basically to open up more cap space, to have money on the board in case, because you got like so many freaking superstars coming out this year. And Magic Johnson want to make sure that he has enough money to get them guys. I know a lot of us don't agree with him giving out Ivica Zubac, but you got to remember, Ivica is, I think he's on his last year of his contract. So you got to think about it. Do we resign Ivica or do we go after a free agent? superstar free agent. We got to make sure we have money on the board to get these guys. And then we're going to build around them. Now, do I think the Lakers should get the young players? I personally say no, because when LeBron James retired, what do we have left to roll with? You know what I'm saying? So you got to look at that as well. I know somebody say, well, what about another superstar? You can get another superstar with the young players still on board. You don't have to go all out. Because in reality, if the Lakers were healthy, Lew Walton would better benefit from his rotation and his time management. The Lakers could have been a pretty dominant team. Now, would they win the championship? Not this year against the Golden State Warriors, let's be honest. But they still would have been a dominant team to actually challenge the likes of the Golden State Warriors, the Rockets, the OKCs, and all that. Matter of fact, before the OKC Thunder was blowing us out in this previous game where Westbrook had like the 60s, the 2020-21, we were actually in the game until like towards, I think, the third or fourth quarter, something like that. Then we kept having little spurts where we came back. But we had a bunch of bench players and journeymen. None of our star players were in that game. And they had their star players. But anyway, like I said before, I don't think Magic Johnson, I'm going to say this. Magic Johnson made some bad moves, but I got to understand why he made these moves. And I'm not trying to defend Magic. All I'm saying is that if Magic Johnson don't get nobody this offseason, then yes, everything will be questionable about all the moves he made. That's all I can say at the end of the day. So we're not going to use the same narrative and say, well, he got LeBron there. LeBron was coming anyway. Because LeBron knew that, look, I won 3 championships. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of things going on off the court, and I need to be close to a lot of these business things. So it makes sense for LeBron to come to LA. You know, still get paid, playing basketball, while also at the same time doing his little side projects off the court. It makes sense. So until we see this offseason what the Lakers do, I will not question too much about what Magic did as move-wise. Like I said, upset about the Avika move and all that, but then we have to think, okay, they want to get rid of Beasley, but at the same time, they got to re-sign Avika Zubac. I think it's either this year or the next year. I got to look at his contract, but I know it's somewhere down the line. Because remember, you got Brandon Ingram contract ready to come up too after this season. Not this season, but the next season. So you got to think about all those variables of what can we do in order to keep everything at stake and still get a superstar player. Because remember, you got to sign these players as well. So you got to understand where everything is coming from, but I won't say that about Magic turning the place. This is just a prelude to the video I made earlier. I just want to hear, I want y'all to hear ESPN because you heard First Take, so I want you to hear ESPN and what they were saying. I know a lot, like I said, they always try to tear things down and make up their own narrative and stuff like that, but I just want you guys to have an open mind. Don't always listen to what the media say. Take everything with a grain of salt. Start doing your own fact checking, your own research before you agree with what they're saying. Because you got to keep in mind, these guys are not watching all the games. Not watching all the games. So you got to keep that in mind. Now, I know a lot of people don't like Lew Walton, but like I said before, out of Tyronn Lue and Jason Kidd, if that's the way we're going, I'd rather have Lew Walton over those two. I explained to you guys why, and if I got to explain it again, I told you. Ty Lue was in the East when LeBron James left, and the East is weak. He couldn't do nothing with that team. Jason Kidd, he basically held back the Milwaukee Bucks, so you got to keep that in mind as well. And like I said before, once Jason Kidd left, look what the Milwaukee Bucks are doing now. That's the same thing what Lew Walton is doing. Hopefully, LeBron James, Lew Walton sit down, have a discussion. If we don't get a new coach, if they decide to go with keep Lew Walton, I hope they be able to sit down, make a discussion, and figure out what it is that they need to do in order going forward. But LeBron James have to humble himself and submit to the system that Lew Walton is trying to establish, or any coach that comes in here that's well polished already. Because if you're not going to fall into the system and you're still trying to run that LeBron James system, it's not going to work. Simple as that, because teams know how to play you. And you're not the 20-year-old LeBron that can jump around and do a lot of things no more. You're getting old. You're getting injuries now. So you got to play a little bit more smart, a little bit more wise, because the more smart and wise you play, that means hopefully that you can actually avoid a lot of injuries. And you don't have to play so many minutes. You don't have to do everything. You actually can allow the team to do what they need to do. With that being said, it's your man Urban Lover. Like, share, subscribe. Get in the comment section. Tell me what you think. What's your pass so far on Magic Johnson in this season? Do you want to at least wait to the offseason before we really criticize him, or do you just want to go all out with a bang and just go off on a dude for making a lot of bad decisions? And I told you, there's been some lot of bad decisions, but I will at least give Magic Johnson the benefit of the doubt, and I'll wait to the offseason to see what he does. The same thing I did with Lew Walton. Like I said, I didn't like Lew Walton as a coach. I respect him as a man, but based on the fact that I said that he's more of a veterans coach and not a young players coach, I have to go with what the Lakers decided to go with, and that was Lew Walton, even though I disagree. But because I gave him the benefit of the doubt, I want to see what the Lakers and how they play this offseason coming up. With that being said, y'all take care. Have a blessed one. Be safe out there.